Okay. Maseches Kiddushin Daf Chav Zayin Amud Beis the Messiah Le. Okay. Oops. I'm sorry. 1 second. Yeah. Messiah Le Shmuel. The Omer Shmuel says Shmuel. We're learning here about Kinyan Agav. Yeah. Chav Zayin Amud Beis in Kiddushin Amud Yomi. Welcome to everybody here and Avos Shalom to everybody in Torah Anytime and to everybody who is with us in YouTube. Misayel Shmuel, the Omar Shmuel says Shmuel, Mocher lo esel sodus be'esel medinos. The person sold his friend 10 different fields in 10 different countries. Yeah, Medinas doesn't necessarily mean country in the Lashon Gemara, maybe different regions, different places. The lands are not attached to each other. They don't border with each other. Kevan sheichzik be'achas mehen. Once the person was machzik, he did chazaka on one of the lands. Let's say he plowed a little bit in one of the plots of land. Kona is kulan. Wow, automatically, as long as it was verbally agreed before by the seller and the buyer that all 10 fields will be nikne, although the Maisa Kinyan was done on one field only, somehow that works for the other fields as well. Now, Bepashtas, that's not Agav. Agav, which we learned about yesterday, is about what? Karka and Metaltalin. This is Karka and Karka. Not the same thing, and yet it works. And soon we're going to know why. Amar Ravacha Breder of Ika. Ravacha Breder of Ika is trying to bring a proof and a help endorsement to Shmuel. What does it say? Teda, I'll prove it to you. You are right, Shmuel, and I'll prove you that you're right. Shilu Mosaloi Esel Behemus Be'afsar Echod. Let's say a person gave his friend 10 animals. He wants to sell him 10 animals. Be'afsar Echod. What's one afsar? Let's say one leash. One muzzle. Yeah, there's one. Yeah, all you can imagine. All 10 behemoths have those, like long leashes, and at the end of the day, they have one afsa, one holder. Yeah, one piece that holds all 10 animals together. Like dogs, right? Sometimes people walk around the street with like 5 dogs and all connected with one leash. So he gave all 10 animals with one leash, one afsa, one muzzle, whatever. The omerle kni, and he told him buy them. Miloi kani, wasn't he koine? What does that mean? In other words, bepashtus, it means that because the person now, all 10 animals are held with one afsar, all 10 animals are being acquired, right? Okay, so too, all 10 fields also are acquired. And the question is, what's the comparison, right? Toisus asks the question, yeah, if I'm holding the leash of all 10 of them, then I'm holding all of them. How can you compare that, right, to a piece of land where the piece of land is what? Is one here and one there. It's not comparable. We're going to see Toisus inside soon, but first let Shmuel talk. Omerle, Shmuel says to the one who's trying to help him, thanks, but no thanks. You're trying to prove that I'm right? No, I reject your help. Midami, it's not the same. It's not the same. Over there, the igudoy beyodo, he's holding all 10 animals. All 10 animals are held together. They're all tied. Here, the pieces of land are not tied together. They're not connected. Let's see now Toisfus. Esel be'emus be'afsar echod. Says Toisfus, the second Toisfus in the page. Nire, it seems, the Irish kulan kshurin be'afsar echod. All 10 animals are connected, are all tied with one afsar, one leash, one item. Yeah. However, here comes big news. In other words, the Mesira wasn't done with a leash. It was done on one animal only. Yeah, out of 10 animals, and he wants to acquire all 10, he was holding the mane or he was holding the feet of one animal and not the others, but it is connected to all 10. That's already more similar. Yeah, in other words, if I hold onto one animal, which is one of the 10, and she's tied to all other 9, if I hold one of them, won't we say that all 10 of them are also bought? We decided all 10 should be sold. I held the foot of one of them. They're all tied, all one big happy family. They're all being bought together. V'adin besodos, and I would compare it. Yeah, says Rav Acha, I would compare it to fields bechazaka shalachas men koino. Yeah, in other words, the chazaka of one field should be koina all the others. The lahodamia, because that is what's similar, right? Yeah. Okay. And then Tosfos continues. Okay. Well, 1 second, please. Explains the ritva. But now it's still difficult, right? Because the pieces of land are still far apart. While really the animals, I could say you hold the foot of one of them, they're all physically connected through the muzzles. Yeah. Answers the ritva. The ritva here is always very helpful. The ritva says we're going to see a svar later, but Rav Acha already held of it now. Rav Acha held of the concept, which we'll see later, a famous concept, sadna de arachadhu, which means all lands are connected by land. Yeah, if you have a karka in Lithuania and karka in Spain, really all of Europe is one sadna, is one sadan, one flat, not flat exactly, one piece of land. Yeah, while I own one smaller piece in Estonia and one in Portugal that's very far, but Lamaisa, the land is all one big piece, so therefore there is connection. As opposed to this cup and this jug, they're not connected at all. The shank and the piece over here and the piece over there, they're all part of Mother Earth. And therefore he believed that it's the same as animals. And Shmuel says, no, thank you for Shmuel. By the way, Shmuel does believe that it's true, but he still believes that the comparison to animals is not true because the animals are really connected. Okay, that's explanation number one. That took care of your question? Ikadamri. Some say just the opposite. There is another version to the discussion between Shmuel and Rav Acha ben Ravika, and they say as follows: Ikadamri. Some say Rav Acha ben Ravika teda deloy kani. Yeah. Rav Acha ben Ravika is coming to argue on Shmuel. Again, what did Shmuel say? Shmuel said if you did chazaka on one piece of land, the other pieces of land far away in different countries, they're all acquired together. One kinyan of one would help all other 9. Says Rav Acha ben Ravika, no, they don't. They will not help. I disagree with you, Shmuel. As opposed to the first version, which was helpful to Shmuel, now he's arguing with him. Why? And he says, if let's say a person has 10 animals that are be'afsar echod, and he told him zukni, he told him be coin of this one, would he be coin of the other ones? Now the Ritva has a different version. Rashi here is a bit difficult. There's questions on Rashi and Tosfos. The truth is, I'm going to follow now yet again the Ritva. The Ritva says, let's talk now about 10 animals, right? And those 10 animals are not tied with one afsar. Yeah. Let's say we spoke about 10 animals. We know the 10 animals are here in the field, and we clearly had a verbal agreement, which is not yet kinyan. We're preparing for the kinyan. We know the kinyan is supposed to apply to. And we said 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, Besi, Lucy, Shmutzi, Putzi, all 10 animals, all of them will be sold to you. And now he did a kinyan on one of them without saying zu. Yeah, he just held one of them, and they're not connected with an afsar, according to the Ritva. Then I held one of them. Will the other ones be nikne? Obviously not. Same thing. The pieces of land are far apart. Why should Makarka in Brazil, with I did chazok over there, I plowed the field in Brazil. How should that help the field in Russia or South Africa? No way. It's not this. It won't help. No, they're not connected. On that says Shmuel midomi. It's not the same, says Shmuel. Shmuel's now fighting back and says, or the Gemara on behalf of Shmuel, is it the same? Osam gufi muchlokim. Over there, the bodies are completely far apart and separate. Over there, when you have 10 animals, there's nothing physical that connects them. They're not tied to the ground, and they're not even tied to each other. And therefore, when the 10 animals are far apart, not even far away, but they're not connected through the muzzle or through the leash or through the rope, then what does one have to do the other? Clearly, a kinyan of one won't be connected to the other. Over here, sadna de arachadu. Sadna, sadan is not an anvil. How do you call what the guy has? No, like the blacksmith or those that have a hammer. And what's the thing underneath? Anvil. It's the anvil. The anvil meaning like the flat area, right? And the flat thing, like a tray. Sadna, that's called sadan in Hebrew, not Sudan, but sadan. Yeah, ben a patish la sadan. When you want to say in Hebrew slang, you want to say I'm between a rock and a hard place. I'm stuck. You say ben a patish la sadan. Yeah, between the hammer and the anvil, like I'm stuck between two troubles. Yeah, yeah. So now sadna de ara means the land is really all one. I said Brazil because under the water it's still the same land, subterranean. Right? Under the Atlantic Ocean, what do you think is there? A monster? It's land. It's the same land, just under the sea. So Lamaisa, the earth is all one big body, one big ball, and Chazal knew that before the going. And therefore, since Sadna Dara Chadu, If I plow one field, although there are other fields in between, or even the sea and the ocean, and the other field is on the other side, they are, yes, intrinsically and physically connected. There's some kind of continuity between the lands, and therefore a kinyan on one land, as long as it was agreed that the other pieces of land will follow through, then the kinyan of one helps all others. Let's summarize. When it comes to animals, according to both lishnas, if you realize, if you follow the two lishnas, the two lashonis, lamaisa, everyone agrees that by animals, if you had the animals connected, yeah, connected with a leash or with a rope or with something, and I held one of them, it helps all others. By the way, according to Rashi, you have to hold the leash. According to Tosfos, even one of them in the mane or in the body. If the animals are disconnected, of course, it's not going to work. What about a piece of land? Piece of land, although seemingly it's not connected, halachically it is called connected because sadna darachadu, because all the different fields are really between them, are not really separated. They're separated by other ownerships of other people, but it's still the same land. It's still terrain. And therefore, what helps one helps the others. Says the Ritva here, an unbelievable word. Remember that we were struggling yesterday to understand. It was a good struggle. We were going deep a little bit to understand how does kinyan agav work, right? The Rashi said that the chazoko you do for the land helps for the metaltalim, right? Says the Ritva. Now we have a new light. Now we can see agav in a new light. Why? Because you, just like we say that, let's say the piece of land in Eretz Yisrael, I'm doing Ir Chazaka, it helps my land in Italy, right? Let's say, as long as we decided, because really it's all one. So Chazaka on one piece of land helps the other plot of land. Says the Ritva, Agav told me that metaltin ala karka. In other words, just like Bekarkois, the Chazaka of one karka helps the other, Agav brought metaltalin to the level of karka. Meaning, if I decided that those metaltalin are together on top of, not physically on top of, but together with the karka, it's like another piece of karka. And just like the karka, there's no separation. We have halacha have allowed us to look at the metaltalin as another piece of land. So one piece of land and another piece of land are all one big happy family. That's how Agav works according to the Ritva. Next point. Okay, let's continue in the Mishnah. V'zoykikim esa nechosim. Oh, you came on time. 2 dots. 2 dots. 2 dots. Chaf zayin Amud BSD Gilgul. 2 dots. V'zoykikim esa nechosim. Let us again repeat what the Mishnah said. What did the Mishnah say? Let's just clue in again about shevuos. And again, the Ritva said something which I told you before. Baruch shekivanti. The Mishnah told us the way the Ritva views it. Agav is bidirectional, meaning there's a relationship here between karkois and metaltalin. You should know, as I told you many times, the Chol Torah Kula, in all areas of Torah, the Torah differentiates between land and things that are connected to the ground, houses, whatever, all types of houses, all types of kavua things to the land, and metaltalin. It applies to kinyonim, as we just saw, to shvuas, to Shabbos. Yeah, Boin and Soiser, Shabbos, Kalim, and Binyan are not the same. For Tumah V'Tara, yeah, not the same. A house, in most cases, not Mekabel Tumah V'Chulei. What about shvua? Now we're talking about shvua. What are we saying? Just like you have the concept of agav, in which a kinyan done to the land also helps in some way to the metaltalin, there is also the opposite relationship, meaning sometimes metaltalim have a point that's stronger than karka, and if metaltalim are there, karka follows along. Not bekinyan, not bekinyan. No, 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 no. Let me just get this straight. If I do meshicha on a motorbike, on bicycle, I did meshicha on the bicycle, and I also want to buy your apartment, it won't help. No. Yeah, because karka is stronger. Yeah, the meshicha of the bike will not help me to buy your land. I'll have to buy the land separately. However, what about shevua? Oh, what about shevua? Let's say you have a claim against someone, and you claim that he stole your house, that he's squatting in your house, that I don't know, somehow he owns the house that he sits in is yours, and you say the entire house really belongs to me, and you say I have a house of 120 square meter, yeah, there are such houses, yeah, 120, and he says, no, 60 is mine and 6 is yours. I'm sorry, yeah, I went a little bit overboard. No, 60 is mine. It's moide b'miktsas. Midoraisa moide b'miktsas chayiv shvua. Can I tell him, oh, I learned in Daf Yomi about Metzia Daf Beis and 15 other places. Moide b'miktsas, you are wishy-washy guy. Be nishba. Can I do that? Yeah. No, you're telling Rabboni, let's say. No, will you tell him, yeah, make him do shevua? No. Enish bono l'karkois. We learned that from several places. Yeah, enish bono l'karkois. Karka is not shvuable. Yeah, not shvuable. Karka is not something, because as the Torah decided, don't ask me why. Karka, there is no, I'm sure there are reasons which I don't know. I admit I don't know, but I do know it appears all over the place that karka, that shvua doesn't apply to it, not even by the mixas. Okay, wait and see, wait and see, wait and see. Comes the Mishnah and tells us, okay, so I go home, not sure what to do about this guy who claims that 60 meters is his and 60 are mine, and okay. Meanwhile, I have another issue with him, same Schwindler, and I claim that I lent him 2,000 shekels, and I know that he's playing games with me. I take him to BSD. Whatever he said outside BSD is another issue. I come to BSD. Hey, yo, Mr. Yomi, 2,000 shekels. I lent you. Here, I have a star. Without star. 2,000 shekels. 2,000 shekels. Where is it? And he says, no, it was just 1,000. Just 1,000. Ooh. Now I can make him be nishba. That's not karkois. Money is, for most cases, metaltalin, right? And I'm telling Mister, I want you to be nishba that it's really only 1,000 and not 2,000. And if not, you pay. And you know what? Oh, here comes big news. There's a thing called Gilgul, to roll over. Since now I can force you to be nishba on the metaltalin or the money, so too now I will roll over. I will drag onto, I will bring in the other shvua and be nishba on the karka. That's what we meant now when we're mashbia the other way, which means since metaltalin or money can require shvua, and have an old story with you about what the karka, I can be megalgel and be mashbia you on the karka alongside with the metaltalin. In other words, here metaltalin are schlepping the karka. Since metaltalin could be metaltalin, could be money, it could be metaltalin. I claim that I deposited 2 diamond rings by you, and you say only 1. Same thing, yeah. Be nishba on the other one. Now that we're at it, wait, mister. I cannot be megalgel you to be nishba on the land, which otherwise you couldn't. Says the Ritzvah, why do these two things appear together? Because I'm telling you, these are both Gilgulim. Agav and Gilgul are both relationship between Karka and Metaltalin, just bidirectional. That's Adkan is the Mishnah with Hezber of the Ritzvah. Yes. Question time. Yeah. Okay, 1 second. More questions. Yeah. Okay, so a question was asked about Gilgul Shvua. We will learn more about Gilgul Shvua, and I hope to answer you on Sunday. You know, you have a question. I hope to get to that in the Gemara, I think, of tomorrow, of the next Amud. Let's first start. Omar Ula, as we always know, before we start all the pilpulim, the first question of the Gemara always is, how do you know? What's your source? What's the source? Minayin legilgul shvua min haTorah. Where is your source of Gilgul Shvua from the Torah? Where does the Torah hint to the fact that Gilgul Shvua is true? You can roll over, you can add and drag on one Shvua to the other, even an item that otherwise you wouldn't be nishba. Shene'emar, and here we're talking about Soita. The Omra Ha'isha, Amen, Amen. Let's give a very quick overview about the general story, general lochus of Soita. What's a Soita? A man told his wife, in front of 1 or 2 Eidim, as far as the Machlokes in the beginning of Soita, a person told his wife, I don't like your relation, you're a little bit too talkative with one guy, the Tashala general. I'm talking, as far as I know, La Halacha, the Rambam says, I don't like, you talk too much with this Reuven, your banker, your partner at work, your co-worker, your neighbor. Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm warning you, I don't want you to be nistar, to be misyached with this guy. Yeah, I'm mekane, I'm jealous for you. Yeah, I'm a jealous husband. Yes, I'm doing kinui. Kinui means that I'm warning you. Don't be nistar. Don't lock yourself in a room. Be yichud with this man. Anyhow, yichud is also, I know, but he's specifically telling her, you and this guy, that nice handsome banker who sits next to you, I don't want you to actually be misyached with him at all, and I'm warning you as your husband. Okay, and lo and behold, you know what happened? Next time we see, there are 2 Eidim who see them locking themselves in an office alone. Doesn't smell good, doesn't look nice. And Allah at that point says this woman is usher to be with her husband. Stam a woman is misyached, is mutter to be with her husband. You should know that. It's just yichud. But a woman that was misyached with edim, shnei edim, plus there was kinui before, kinui and stira. He was mekani, warned her, and then she was mistater. She hid herself alone in the room. The other guy, at that unhappy moment, yeah, she cannot have relations with him. Yeah, they can have relations. What do you do with her? In times of Beis Hamikdash, you take her to Beis Hamikdash, and there's all ceremony, yeah, with the water, with melting the thing of the Megillah, v'chule v'chule. And what does the Kohen tell her? The Kohen is telling her some unpleasant stuff, and he tells her that, you know, that if you are clean, as you claim, all is good. If you're not clean, you should be aware that you're going to drink this water, right, with mixture of bitter herbs and the water from the Mesaito and the text of the Parsha Soito, the ink that's a nice drink she has to drink. And he's telling her in advance, listen, lady, before you're drinking, be aware of the fact that if it's good, all amazing. If it's not good, then your foot, your thigh, and your stomach are going to blow up. Yeah, you're going to look not nice, and you're going to die. Yeah, very nice. Now the woman and she's bringing a korban mincha. We're not learning soita now, but basically that's the idea. Says the Torah, the Amma Ha'isha, Amen, Amen. The woman says twice, Amen, and again, Amen. She relates, she refers and answers, she replies to what the Kohen tells her, and she answers back saying, oh, that's what she has to do, that's a ceremony. She says to him, Amen, Amen. In other words, yeah, I accept what you say. And what's going to happen? If she's clean, then she'll have nicer children and easy birth and long life. If she's not clean, meaning the water, the magical water, magical from Hashem, the spiritual water, they really tell us the truth. And if she was a sinner, blow up right there and then, yofi. So now she says Omen twice. Why did she say Omen twice? That's a question. V'tanan. Now we see in the Mishnah in Soito, Al Ma'i Omeres Omen Omen, question mark. Why does she have to say Omen twice? Yeah? One Omen is the whole series of things. So the other Omen is on what? Omen al ha'olah, Omen al shevua. First of all, she says Omen on the curse. I accept the curse. I'm aware and I know that if I drink it, in other words, she has the option to admit also. If she was a real Zoina, yeah, up until now she claimed, oh, he's just a friend. I just discussed with him the finances of the bank. And then we discussed, we sat far apart from each other. And we discussed the war in Gaza and Harvard University. That's all we did, yeah? Now, we suspect that there was something more interesting going on. If in Beis Hamikdash she admits and she said, I was Mizaneh, then good. Then she's saved from the klala. So she has to know it's facing her. Well, what are the options? So the first omen, she says, al ha'olah. I'm aware of the fact that if I drink it and I'm a naughty girl, boom, I'm going to blow up right there and then. She has to know. Omen ala shevua. Ala shevua is the good side. Ala shevua that he's mashbia, that she was not nitme. Yeah, I swear that I was not tome. And she says, do you swear that do you actually swear that you are, that's why that's very, very important. He's mashbia her, that's a very crucial point for our sugya. He says, I hereby mashbia you. In other words, shevua, I don't know about other areas, but in halacha, shevua can be done one of two ways. I'm nishba that so and so and so that I will do this, I will do that. Or shevua can be more like passive and receptive. In other words, somebody else is mashbia me. Yeah. Do you swear that so and so and so? You swear that you were not mizaneh with the other banker in the bank? Yeah. After hours, do you swear? She says, Amen. I swear that I didn't do anything. So Amen relates to what? To shevua. Right? It's a passive shevua. Whatever the Kohen says, you were not mizaneh, you are clean. Amen. Yes, I'm clean. So says she. Amen. And we continue. Now she should also be, when she says Amen, she means Amen from this man or from other men. In other words, her husband was mekana her regarding Reuven. She says Amen that I wasn't mizaneh also with anybody else. Yeah, that's what there's an extra Amen. Amen shelo satisi arusa venesua. This is very important now to realize and analyze. I'm nishba that I wasn't mizaneh, I wasn't soite, I did not do anything bad while I was arusa and while I was nesua. What's arusa? We all know. There was a period of time that there was no kiddushin. Excuse me, there's past kiddushin. She was miskadeshes. She's an HSH completely, but they don't live together. She lives in her parents' house. He lives in his parents' house. Yeah. and she's not yoresh, nedorim, nothing yet. V'shomeres yovam v'knusa. In case that this woman, her current husband, who schleps her to Beis Hamikdash, is what? A yovam. In other words, shomeres yovam v'knusa are similar to arusa and nesua. What shomeres yovam? By the way, sorry, I missed one thing. Nesua is what? I swear that it wasn't mezane after nisuin, after chuppah, after we live together already. Yeah. Shomeres yovam and knusa are the equivalent. What shomeres yovam? After the first childless husband died, and before the brother actually took her in, she's called shomeres yovam. Why shomeres? Waiting for the yovam. Because a woman who's a yavama, in between brothers, so to speak, she's not allowed to be with anybody else, to marry anybody else. She's called shomeres yavam zkuka. She has to wait for the yavam like Tomar. That was Tomar's frustration. She waited for a very long time. So not exactly yavam. It's before Matan Torah, but a similar idea. One second. The knusa is the equivalent of nesua by yavama. Why? Because by yavama, all you have to do is just have relations with her. Once they have relations, her and one of the brothers, they're married completely. Full stop. So she's nishba in all these cases. Yes. He has to do chalitza. Fine. No, once chalitza, goodbye, Charlie. She can marry wherever she wants. Yes, absolutely. That's the way out. That's what we do today. Only chalitza. Frak the Gemara. Let's now focus. Let's zone in on one of all these interesting things, which is all these multiplied shvuas. Hi arusa hechidami. You say that a soita can actually stand there in Beis Hamikdash and be nishba that she was not mizani, she was not sinful while she was arusa. Arusa meaning she was mekudeshes, eshes ish, but she's not living yet with her husband. Her husband never touched her. And what he suspects at some point that in the erusin already, she started young, yeah? The erusin already, she was with somebody else, and that's the issue now. How exactly is that possible? Not so simple. Ilema dekani lakshi arusa. Let's say that it's a separate case. Everything happened which was arusa. They were mauras. Such a bad start for the relationship before they even lived together and started fighting over the dirty socks and the whatever. Already now, in the time of erusin, what happens? He was mekane. Hey, I don't like it that you are too friendly with Reuven. And then what happened? She was nister with Reuven. He took her to Beis Hamikdash, claiming that Reuven and you were two buddy together. Yeah, it all happened during erusin. Is that possible? Is there such a thing of a soita who the entire sota process happened while she's in arusa? That none. Look what the Mishnah says again from there. Arusa v'shomeres yovam. Shomeres yovam, we all know, is the equivalent of arusa in the Yibum story. Lo shoisois v'lo notlis ksuba. Which means if the entire process happened, meaning he warned her, then she went to closed office after hours, and what did she do? She closed herself with the guy together. And then they were found, we don't know what they did. What's the halacha? Lo shoisois. They don't drink, meaning you don't take her to Beis Hamikdash. No, you don't do the sota process to her. On the other hand, lo noitlis ksuba. They don't take the ksuba. This is something very important for everybody to know. I've tried to say it before. I'll say it more clearly. People don't understand. Why did you suspect the soita so much? We don't know. Give it the benefit of the doubt, because the process what they do to the soita is quite cruel. No, they make her be a bit lotzanu and degraded, and they schlep her from place to place. You have to understand it's the other way around. Once a woman had kinui, yeah, and she had something with that guy, stira, she did an avera, yichud. Yeah, there are two Edim Usodim coming to the closed room after she was warned about this guy. You want to tell me nothing happened? Allah assumes the worst. Allah assumes that something did happen, and therefore what? She and her husband, as I told you, are not allowed to be together. She's assumed to be a zoina. Elamai, the Torah is so nice, the Torah gave her the benefit of the doubt and allowed her to go to Beis Hamikdash to clear her name. That's the idea. And that's why they don't take ksuba, meaning, let's say the woman says, okay, we have to get divorced. Since there was kinui, there was stira, boom. You close yourself with a guy in the room, enough time to have bia, yeah? And this guy and you have your history, yeah? So now we assume the worst, and therefore a husband whose wife was unloyal, you say? Or disloyal? Yeah, unloyal. Disloyal was what? This, okay, Mechloikas Zapoyski, both, Baruch Hashem. Bekitzer, she was cheating. cheating, yeah, cheap language. Then what? Then he's not allowed to be with her, even if he wants, right? Oh, that woman who we almost assume that the worst has happened, she can't be with her husband. They have to get divorced. Will she get ksuba? No, because a woman who is misbehaving doesn't get ksuba, right? A woman is mezane, a woman is lot sanua, a woman who feeds him non-kosher doesn't deserve a ksuba. So that's the story over here. But wait a minute, we say that a woman who's arusa, a woman whose the whole story happened while erusin, does not go to Beis Hamikdash to have the water test. Yeah, why not? Why not? You know why? My timer. The words of the Torah are "Your mezane ve'at kisotis tachas ishech b'midbar hey parshas nesoy b'chinitnes." You are mezane under your husband only when you lived with your husband. Veleka, they didn't live together yet. In other words, soita only applies when she's tachas isha. She's under him. She's in his house with him, already living with him. Then stia happened. Then it applies. Oh, so you can't. So how do you have arusa? How do you have arusa? Well, what? While arusa doesn't. So how do we say arusa? Just arusa is no soita. Please help me. Ela must be the kanilak shiarusa, venisterak shiarusa. Could be that what? Really, there was kinui and stira when she was arusa. Okay. The kamashki like she nesua. Maybe, yeah. If the kinui and stira happen when she's arusa, and the hashkol she nesua, maybe that can happen. Get what I'm saying? In other words, the whole suspicion business and the ichud happened while she's arusa. Now, who says tachas yishach? The kohen. When she's brought to the kohen, she has to be married. Although they had very rough relationship, yeah, but they did get married. There was chuppah. She's nesua. She's fully married. Now she's taken very regally, nicely to Beis Hamikdash to be checked. Maybe that works because now the kohen can tell her tachas yishach. Now she lives with her husband. Yeah, says the Gemara. Mibad kilamaya. Would the water test her? The water won't test her. Benika ha'ish me'ovain omer ochmono. The man should be clean from ovoin. Benika ha'ish me'ovain. The man is clean from sin. Which man and which sin? The man didn't sin. He's the biggest tzaddik sitting in koilel. His wife is playing the field. What's nika ish me'ovain? Says the Gemara. This is something very important to know. Bizman sha'ish menukim me'ovain main boitkim es ishtoi. Which means only if the man is clean and really clean, did not sin with women, including with her, only then the water tests her. But if the man is also the man is also a guy who goes here and there into different women, then the water don't test his wife. What does that have to do with anything? What did I tell you? Even if he sinned with her, what do you mean sinned with her? What did we say before? After she was nister with her suspected friend, yeah, is the husband allowed to be with her? No, he's not allowed to. If you say nisua, I assume that nisuin, they were together. So you, Mr. Husband, you're playing the big tzaddik now, schlepping her to Beis Hamikdash. But if the entire process happened while she's a rusa, now you're living with her, including relations, yeah. Now you take her to Beis Hamikdash, it won't work. The water won't do the trick because you're also, excuse the language, dirty because you have relations with a woman you're not supposed to, which is your wife. When can't you have relations with your wife? If she is a Mesaita or Zaina. So Mimela, there is no such thing. So again, we're stuck. Where on earth do we have a situation of a Soita who's a Rusa? There's no such thing. If it's during the Erusin, it's not Achas Ishech. If he started living with her and then good morning, he remembered all of a sudden to wake up the dead from the times of Erusin, too late. Once you had relations with her, because you still want her, you can't have the Soita story happening. So what's going on? Ella alidei Gilgul, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov. Alidei Gilgul. What does Gilgul mean? He has two suspicions. During the Erusin, he suspected her that Reuven is a little bit too friendly. And during the Erusin, there was Kinui and Stira. What could he have done? Nothing he can do. Because Arusa doesn't go to be Beis Hamikdash to drink. It just doesn't. Tachas Ishech. And then, you know what happened 2 years or 3 or 4 years down the line after the marriage? He tried to forget about it. And now what happened? Alidei Gilgul. There is a problem here. Actually, I'm going to Sorry. I made a mistake. Again. If during Erusin the entire process happened, I'm glad I made the mistake because we'll make it clear for you and me. If during Erusin there was kinui and stira, the whole business, right? And then he started living with her, he forgave her, as they say. First of all, he's not allowed to be with her, right? And if he is, he cannot take her to Beis Hamikdash. Okay. Let's say there was a story that she was nista, he suspected her with a guy during Erusin, but there was no halachic process. He just felt that she is too friendly with Reuven, yeah, and even she was nistar with Reuven, but there was no kinui. He didn't have the entire halachic process, but there was suspicion. That was during Erusin. What can he do? Nothing. Not every husband who's a kanoi, who's jealous, can start schlepping his wife to Beis Hamikdash. There has to be a process. Kinu in front of Eidim, steer in front of Eidim. This has to be a certain amount of time. There has to be a process. Only then you apply to go to Beis Hamikdash. Now, during Erusin, there was something that really raised his anger and suspicion, but not enough to take her to Beis Hamikdash. Then, 2 years, 3, 4, 20 years after the Nisuin, there was a real story with all the pitchefkis and all the details. He was mekane. Don't be nistar with who? With Shimon, another guy. And she was nistar with Shimon in front of Eidim. They saw. He sent 2 spies to the hotel. And the son closing themselves in a hotel room. Ooh, papa. And then what? Oh, go to Beis Hamikdash. Now in Beis Hamikdash, he has the right to be mashbiah her Gilgul. I remember 20 years ago, I had bad suspicions regarding Reuven. There's nothing I can do about it because he didn't follow the rules, yeah, the parameters. Now that I can be mashbiah you, I'm married to you. It's tachas ishech. There was kinu, there was stira, and I did not touch you since the stira. The husband that did everything right. He consulted with the Torah Rabbani. He knows what he's doing. Now that it can be mashbiah you, the kohen is mashbiah her. On the post nisuin, he cannot be megalgel, roll on her to drag on her another shevua from before the marriage. Mazel tov, that's Gilgul shevua. So we'll learn Gilgul shevua from Soito. And now since we have Gilgul Soito, again, what's Gilgul shevua? One item, one case, I can be mashbiayu. There was kinu, stira, marriage, everything mehadrin. I can be mashbiayu. Now I'll be mashbiah another funny story, which wasn't exactly within halacha, and I couldn't be mashbiah. I can be mashbiah on X. I'll drag along, chain reaction. I'll now bring another piece of item which I already have in mind. Without then I'll be toveyu now and be mashbiah. That's Gilgul shevua, and the same thing applies to mammon. Oh, same thing with money. I cannot be mashbiah you on the case of you stealing my house. I'll be mashbiah on the diamond ring, which I can, and on top of that, I'll roll on you, be megalgel on you, also the shvua of the karka of the land, which I couldn't do as of itself. Tofa bar mazel tov, baruch Hashem. Frag the Gemara, it's not so simple. You're comparing basically what? Isurin to money. You're comparing eshes ish to money. That's not the same. Frag the Gemara. We saw a few times. We saw already in Daf Gimel Amud Beis, I think, or Daled Amud Beis. We saw, in Gimel Amud Beis Kiddushin, a few months ago, we saw a concept. You don't learn money matters from Isurim matters, and also the Gemara in Brochas Daf Yutes Amud Beis says vice versa. In other words, if the Torah has certain concepts, if they apply to Isurim, prohibitions, Eshes, Shatnez, eating treif, they don't necessarily apply to money, and those that apply to money don't always apply to Isurim. Isur and Mammon are 2 separate things, and therefore the Gemara says, I'm not so excited about your source. You have a very nice case in Soita, but the fact you're trying to copy and paste it to Mammon, to money, Ashkechan, so the second to last line, Meseches Kiddushin Chav Zayin Amud Beis. What's Ashkechan? We found Soita, the Isura. Yofi, thank you. You found a very clear case of a soita, which is an isser, nothing to do with money. It's usser to be with another man, another woman. Mamoina minolan, how do you know the same applies to money? Just not the same thing. Answers the Gemara, Tane Dever Bishmel, yes, we found the source. Kal v'choimer, wow. We're going to learn it by Kal v'choimer. What's the Kal v'choimer? Uma soito, okay. Uma soito sheloi chavches amud aleph. Uma soito sheloi nitna litova bed echod megalgelin. Moment shenitna litova bed echod enudin shemegalgelin, which means A soita, as I told you before, how many Eidim have to witness her coming to the back room of the bank alone after hours, locking us up? 2 Eidim. What I said machlokas was about kinui, but the halacha, you look at the Rambam. I saw it this morning just to make sure. Yeah. So 2 Eidim have to see her coming to the room with that suspicious guy. If 1 Eid saw her, no, then you can't take her to Beis Hamikdash. That have to be very clear rules. Oh, so Soita Eid Echad just doesn't do the job for Soita. Doesn't do it to her. Eid Echad doesn't do the trick. So if Soita, now I want to ask you a question. Riddle, trivia quiz. It's not trivia. It's an important quiz. What would be the halacha if I come to Beis Din and I claim that you owe me 2,000 shekels, and you say, no way, Jose, not in my mixtus. You say, nonsense, shtuyot, you're fantasizing, and I have 1 aid with me. I have 1 aid that says that I'm right, and you owe me 2,000 shekels. Do you take shevua or not? Yes, yes, yes. I want you to know and memorize Baal Peh, your homework for Shabbos. Are you familiar with the very Jewish word Shema? If you're born and dies with the word Shema. Shema is Rosh Tevas, the 3 Shavuos D'Oraisa. D'Oraisa, the only 3 cases that a person is mashbiah his friend on money. Shoimrim, remember from but Metzia Shavuos Shoimrim. The Shomer claims nothing happened, was oines. I can be mashbiah that be nishba, it wasn't your fault. Mem moide b'miktsas. Yeah. If I say 2,000, you play games, you say 1,000, I can be mishbiah. Ein eid echad. If I come to Beis Din, even if you deny everything, which otherwise means you can't be, you're not supposed to be nishba. If I have 1 aid to be on my side, I can be mishbiah you, because it says lo yokum eid echad. You can see it in Rashi over here. Rashi says, eid echad lo yokum. The last wide line, lo yokum eid echad beish lechol oven lechol chatos. 1 aid is not functional for oven and chatos. If 1 aid says that I smoked on Shabbos, nobody's going to do anything to me. If 1 aid says that v'chule v'chule, aval kamu l'shvua, 1 aid is good enough to force the other side to take shvua. Aha. Oh, let's read the Gemara again. Umas soita shelo nitna litova beid echad. A soita in which 1 aid is nothing. If there was 1 aid who comes to Beis Din or wherever and he tells the people, oh, I saw that suspicious woman and her friend together, 100, and he's a kosher aid. He's a kosher guy. Nothing. And yet megalgelin, and yet we still have the chumrah. We still have the chumrah that you can be megalgel shvua, the what, from after nisuin to before nisuin to erusin. Yes, it does work, the gilgul. So mama and shenita litova bedechod, money in a way is here stricter than eishesish. It's an exception to the rule. By money, if I have 1 aid, you can't just say, 1 aid. No, don't tell me to go home. If I have 1 aid in Beis Din, Beis Din will make you take shvua d'oraisa in front of an open Sefer Torah or in Kodesh with black thing, everything. Eino din shemegalgelin, avada megalgelin. That's a kal v'chomer. If soita or an ed echod is nothing, and yet Gilgul applies, the chumrah of Gilgul, so money, which in this aspect is worse and stricter, 1 aid does the trick and causes you to do shvua, clearly can be megalgel the shvua. Very nice. That is 1 more. Okay, so now we have, we found the source. So again, let's summarize. How do we know that a person can be megalgel shvua with money, right? Let's say there's 1 karka and 1 non-karka. I can be megalgel and mix them all together because it can be mashbiah on the 2 diamond rings and you say only 1. Or give me another example of diamond rings where I can be mechayv a person shvua. I say, I gave you 2 diamond rings and you say nothing. When can I be mechayv shvua? If I have next to me, I'm flanked by 1 aid. Yeah, then it can make you shvua. And I tell you, you know what? And once we're at it, I also want you to be nishba to the piece of land which I claim that you owe me, and you say you don't, right? I can also be nishba on that. How do you know that? From Soita. By Soita, we saw clearly omein twice to tell me Gilgul, and from Soita we learn to money that if Soita is no edechod and yet Gilgul applies, clearly by money Gilgul applies. Ad kana kofa aleph, we're almost there. Okay? Good? Happy? Nice. Frag the Gemara another question, and that we're not going to finish today. We're just going to open the topic today. Ashkechan bevadai sofek minolan, which means, the thing is like this. There are two types. There are many types of shevuas. Yeah, there are two types of shevuas regarding how certain you are with a shevua. Let's say that I come to you with a vada. You know about Bori and Shema, right? I'm a Bori. I'm clear. I gave you 2 diamond rings, each one 10,000 shekels. You thief, where are they? I deposited them by you. I wish I didn't. Yeah, and you claim either half, right? Or I come with an edechot, there's shvua. What about a tiny suffix? Tiny suffix means as follows. Suffix means, I'll give you an example, not my example. The example brought by Rashi and Tosfos, doubt, right? Which means, let's say a person was a partner with someone. That's not fictitious at all. Partners sometimes trust each other, and once in a million they don't trust each other. Yeah, partner in business, I heard once, once in 10 million, they don't trust each other. So there's no clear claim, but they decided at one point, let's just part. Yeah, distance makes the heart grow fonder. I'm gonna like you better when you're not my business partner. Okay, so they decided to part everything, and everything seemed to be okay, and they parted already. Now, a day or two later, comes one of them and says, I don't have any specific taina, but I know you, Mr. Ex-partner. Just to be on the safe side, I want you to be nishba. They didn't take anything. Yeah, when we basically, how do you say, dismantled the partnership, when we dissolved, we dissolved the partnership. We had a makolet. I suspect maybe we took like 3 candies to your grandchildren more than I did. Yeah, maybe there's more. I just want to make it general to play it safe. Oh, that's called what? Shvua misafik. I don't have a specific. I'm not claiming I know he stole from me in the middle of the night 2 nights ago 2,000 shekels. I'm just generally to be on the safe side. Yeah. So now that's a shvua called shvua sofek, and he cannot be mashbiah him. No, you can't take the guy to Beis Din just because to be mashbiah someone is a very severe thing. Yeah, we see at the beginning of Metzia, we don't like to cause people to be nishba. If they will lie, it's Shem Hashem, or maybe they're not sure. It's not so simple to be mashbiah. It's not like, you can't do it right, left, and center. And the Gemara, the Mishnah, the Gemara there says in Shavuos, towards the end of Masechet Shavuos, it says, let's say I have a real claim on the partner. Let's take an example, parents are 2 separate cases, okay? Let's say a month after I dissolved the partnership, I'm not sure what I'm saying is a good example, but I think so. A month later, I have a real claim on him. Yeah, I lent him 2,000, and he says, no, it was only 1,000. I caught you. I can be mishbia on the 1,000. Now, Megalgel, I want to be Megalgel on you to be nishba on the whole partnership, which I couldn't be mishbia before. You understand? In other words, now I have a real claim. I want to roll on top of it. I want to drag with it a shvuas sofek. Can that be done too? Why? Because it's not like soito. Says Rashi, by soito, everything is a sofek. Because by soito, at the end of the day, as much as we say, yeah, it's very likely she was mezane, the husband doesn't really know that she had relations with a guy. It's extremely likely, we don't know. Excuse the example, maybe they were hugging and kissing. That's very awesome, it's terrible, but it's not called znus mamish to aser neshefish. It's a very, 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 very bad thing. But it's not called znus that she's called a zoyna to be also on her husband. She can go back to her husband. Maybe that's what they did. In other words, you're not billion% sure anyways by soita about anything. The whole thing is sofek. So maybe from soita, you cannot learn about money when it comes to vadai and sofek. In other words, usually when I claim things against you, usually vadai. I know, yeah, most people go to Beis Din, they have a vadai claim. I know he stole. I know that he owes me. I know that I deposited and he didn't give me. Usually come with vadai. Yeah, that's a normal case. So how do you know from soita, everything is a sofek. The whole thing is up in the air. It's all cloudy and nebulous. Mashenkin, so of course it can be megalgo from one sofek to another sofek. Mashenkin by money, where the normal time is vadai, you want to drag on top of it megalgo sofek. How do you know that? Answers the Gemara, a very unclear answer. I mean, clear. It's very easy to get the answer, but it's difficult to understand what he means. Tanya, Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai, Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai Yomer, Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai Yomer, Nemo shvua b'chutz, v'nemo shvua b'fnim. In other words, the Torah spoke about 2 types of shvuas. Shvuas outside Beis Hamikdash, in Beis Din, with money. V'nemo shvua b'fnim. There's another type of shvua inside Beis Hamikdash. Ma shvua amur b'fnim also b'sofek kevadai. Av shvua amur b'chutz also b'sofek kevadai. Full stop. Simply, he says he doesn't care about the svaros, it seems. He says, listen, just like in Beis Hamikdash, where the Torah clearly speaks of the process of Gilgul and tells me that inside the Beis Hamikdash you can be megalgel one shvua on top of the other, so too the shvua b'chutz can also be megalgel one on top of the other. My question is, but the Svar says otherwise. That will be discussed in Mitzvah Hashem on Sunday. Just to keep you interested, in a few days, probably towards the end of next week, we're going to very interesting sugyas of chinuch of children. Yeah, we're going to see already next daf. No, even middle of next week, we should be already learning about chinuch. Yeah, educating children, mitzvah seser shazman groma, men versus women, and then kibud avim. All the sugyas and all the stories about kibud avim are all coming up soon in the next week and the following week. We're going to have very, very interesting stuff. Stay here, and every day, Shiv to Beis Hashem. Thank you very much all for coming here, for listening to me. Hashem should help us all to win this war. Batzlocha ubrocha. Thank you to everybody here, everybody on Zoom, everybody on the phone, and everybody else in the world, our YouTube and our Torah Anytime participants. Thank you. Batzlocha ubrocha. Thank you. Koyach Gadol.